Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about the Mustang Fastback seat for Harley. So, Mustang is making the Fastback for a huge variety of Harley-Davidsons. Just about every late model Harley is represented with the exception of the V-Rod, and they even have fitment as far back as 58. So those of you guys running Pans and Shovels, FXs, FLs, even you have a Fastback available to you if you like this saddle. You should be considering this saddle if you need a good mid-range weapon. You don't want something that's super slim, setting you right on the rails, but you also don't need a full-on touring rig with a couch back here. This is a good intermediate level saddle. As far as installation, like most Harley seats, this is a 1 out of 3. It's a pretty easy install. We'll discuss that at length in just a moment here. So, Mustang, as a company, has been making saddles for a pretty long time. Their founder, Al Simmons, has said before that the best way to get a handmade saddle look is to hand make a saddle. And I actually kind of like that idea because it works. So, what you'll notice is nice touches like this hand stitching all the way around here. That's something you're going to get, and you'll also notice just generally throughout Mustang saddles a high level of quality. Again, that has to do with the fact that they are using so many sets of hands to move this thing down the production line that so many people touch the saddle, it winds up that it's almost impossible to get a blemished or imperfect saddle. They are making them right here in the USA, which is super cool. And they're using marine grade vinyl on these things, which is nice because it's super weather repellent and it also holds up well to just the rigors of riding. The friction and heat and weight of you being on the saddle doesn't trash out this cover. It wears really nicely and it will hold up for a number of years. Now, flipping this puppy over, you're going to see a fiberglass seat pan. Now, because of the wide range of fitments that this saddle has, you're going to see either fiberglass or steel. I talked to Mustang about this. I like both of those materials, specifically because they are rigid and unyielding. You can see I'm throwing my weight in this thing. The only thing that's giving on this is the foam. Now, that's really helpful because it's going to give you the support you need. Your stock saddle feels awful because it's designed to feel awful. It's designed to feel good for a 10 to 15 minute test ride, but really after that, the thing starts falling apart and doesn't hold its shape, and it gets worse cumulatively. As you go throughout the life of the seat, it cracks, it bends, it breaks, and they don't feel good. Fiberglass is a rigid material. It will be this stiff throughout the life of the saddle and give you a good ride until the end of its days. Now, some of the other cool stuff about this thing, as far as the guts and internals are concerned, you're going to see these rubber bumpers along here. These are to protect your paint. Especially important for those of you guys who are running a solo saddle in addition to your 2-up, this will keep your paint looking good. So when you do switch back to a solo saddle, you don't have nasty, torn up paint on your fender. Instead, it looks as fresh as the day you bought it. You can see also they use rivets to secure the cover. Rivets are a super secure way to keep the cover from moving around. Additionally, they're using aluminum rivets, so you're not subject to the rust and corrosion of a steel rivet. They also chrome plate their hardware, and you'll see on this particular bracket, it's chromed, which isn't polished in the bottom to sort of save some man hours, but if you go to the show side of this saddle, you'll see that it is polished really nicely and looks really nice. Chrome is good for keeping the weather at bay, and it also just keeps things looking nice. Now, installation is a snap on these. As we said before, it's a 1 out of 3. You can see this front tongue. It simply slides right into the front of your frame. Some other models may have 2 tongues, but again, slide right underneath your frame. And then at the back, you're going to have this point of attachment. The point of attachment, depending on what year, year and model your bike are, is going to vary. You might see a Phillips head back there. You might see a Torx bit. However, basic hand tools should get you by for doing the install, and nobody should be afraid of this. This is a 15-minute job at most for most people. Anybody can swap a seat, and really, with the comfort involved in doing so, it's a swap I highly recommend, and you'll see a lot of Harley riders making. Don't take my word for it. Click below, see what some other riders are having to say about this particular saddle. If you've got questions beyond that, let us know. You can email us, cs@revzilla.com, or you can always get a Gear Geek on the phone, 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.